Playboy magazine recently published its first issue with no naked women. That's a policy decision made by the founder and publisher of the magazine, HHefner, and he intends to continue it in future editions. It's because the once riveting nudity in the magazine has become a pallid cliché, and it's also irrelevant, unable to compete with better, cheaper, and more available product on the internet. Still, it comes as something of a shock. Playboy without naked women is like the NBA without black men, or pork and beans without pork. What's the point? In a dismantling mode, Hefner has also put the Playboy Mansion in Chicago up for sale, another move made against the objection of his youngest son, who is something like 23 years old and who is supposedly or nominally in charge of the Playboy empire, which, as you might guess, is dwindling. This, for that young man, has got to be one of the most seminal what-the-fuck moments in history, when the horrified kid sees his father nixing the naked women and trying to sell the pad. The terms of that sale are amusing, too. Hefner wants $200 million for the landmark mansion, plus the right to stay on and live in the building. Maybe his brain has been addled by a lifetime of dedicated hedonism. Like, he thinks somebody is going to put up 200 million gemonios for the place and allow an old coot to putter around in it as he pleases. Good morning, Mr. Hefner. The bathroom is that way. Hefner is not going out in style. He's been married several times, the latest to a woman who called off the ceremony 5 days before it was scheduled. Then, it's said, the couple reconciled, meaning, I think, that the prenup was restructured more to her liking, so the couple was wed, he being 86, she 26. Hefner has an unbeatable track record when it comes to pussy, but that's embarrassing. The legend is that Hefner started Playboy by selling furniture out of his apartment for $600 and borrowing $6,000 more from over 40 investors, including $1,000 from his mother, who believed, he said, not in the idea, but her son. The first issue featured nude photos of Marilyn Monroe, and the magazine took off from there. It claimed to feature monthly The Girl Next Door, but it delivered an airbrush come-hither fantasy more delectable than an ice cream sundae. The fabulous fold-outs were artfully done, almost chaste or demure in a way. Eventually, the competition forced Hefner, or Hef as he styled himself, into photos featuring full frontal nudity, which seemed a tad vulgar for The Girl Next Door. Oh, Hef had his run all right. He was the epitome of sophistication and style. And he was getting laid. Armor-clad in lounging pajamas or perhaps a smoking jacket to go with his ever-present pipe, he did his best to send out an entire Playboy lifestyle. At its peak, there were Playboy clubs spread across the land, and Hef was hosting parties every night in the mansion, rubbing elbows and who knows what else with artists, writers, actors, athletes, musicians, and comedians. Hef was an icon, like his rabbit with the bow tie. He tried to seal the whole thing up in what he called the Playboy philosophy, basically an attack on Puritan values when it came to sexual activity, and he wrote lengthy installments of this, issue after issue, Hef giving out the word, the Playboy philosophy, on how you should live, how you should look, smell, think, and conduct yourselves around women. Women were the ultimate accessory. Stuck behind this was the more direct Playboy advisor for more immediate, practical concerns. At the summit was Hef, claiming to bed on average 11 of the 12 annual Playmates, plus an unending bevy of bunnies, and when it came time to announce the Playmate of the Year in a special issue, all the readers knew that Hef was tapping that. If his claims were true, or nearly so, Hef had to be more sexually active than Wilt Chamberlain. His Playboy philosophy eventually filled volumes, But the real Playboy philosophy was more basic than that. Offer pictures of naked young women, or even better, pictures of famous naked women, for an affordable if somewhat elevated price, and soon you'll be rich, admired, envied, and constantly laid to Hef-approved, grade A, more than willing, naked young women. Now that fantasy, for that's what it was, as surely as Disney was selling his version of it, and which had a glorious arc for over 50 years, has come to, if not an end, a sad diminution. Hef is probably still clinging to his pipe, sporting that nautical cap, but his poor old trouser worm is exhausted, shriveled, and worn, and his son is wandering around wondering what the fuck his old man is up to when he put the kibosh on all the naked chicks and pulled the plug on the party.